May be more raucous rallies to come. A Trump rally scheduled later tonight at the University of Illinois in Chicago. Thousands of students, you can see them there already gathering. A lot expected to protest. We will, of course, keep an eye on it, bring you any developments. Also, last night, Donald Trump doubled down on his recent comments about Islam, and some American Muslim leaders are demanding an apology.
Senator. I think Islam hates us. There's something there that there's a tremendous hatred there. There's a tremendous hatred. We have to get to the bottom of it. There is an unbelievable hatred of us.
In Islam itself?
You're going to have to figure that out. And we have to be very vigilant. We have to be very careful. And we can't allow people coming into this country who have this hatred of the United States.
I guess the question is...
And of people that are not Muslim.
Former presidential candidate Dr. Carson throws his support behind Republican frontrunner Donald Trump. Former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense under President Reagan, KT McFarland, is with me now. KT, Dr. Carson famously said there are two Trumps. Made me think of Jekyll and Hyde. Is unpredictability an advantage when dealing with foreign leaders?
Well, I must say, when I worked for President Nixon during the Vietnam peace negotiations, Nixon would say, look, I want them to really worry about me, and maybe if they think I'm a little crazy, it'll be a negotiating advantage. It will give me some leverage. And that was always the take on Nixon. You never knew what he was going to do, and he turned out to be a pretty good negotiator. I've got to say, though, Deidre, I know a lot of people who have done business with Donald Trump, and they've been either on his side of the table or they've been on the other side of the table. And everybody agrees he's one of the toughest negotiators there ever was in business. So maybe this Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde might work for him as president.
Okay, well, it seems as if he is the closest one to getting that magic number, 1,237, as we have been discussing. Last night, though, last debate before this Tuesday winner-take-all states, Donald Trump reiterated these controversial comments on Islam. The debate moderators pushed him. We're going to just replay a quick clip, and then I have a question for you, KT.
Okay.
Last night you told CNN, quote, Islam hates us. Did you mean all 1.6 billion Muslims?
I mean a lot of them. I mean a lot of them.
So, KT, if Trump is the nominee, then if he becomes president, will comments such as these come back to haunt him?
You know, I looked at that, and on the face of it, it looks really insulting. But yet I went back and looked at what President Sisi of Egypt, who's a devout Muslim, what he said about it. And I looked at the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar University, and I met with the Grand Imam a year and a half ago, and he was making a lot of the same points, that we in Islam, we have to reform. We cannot be in a position where 1.7 billion Muslims are antagonizing the whole world. So Trump may have said it more bluntly and more in a raw way, but the leaders of Islam themselves are saying that we have a problem, we recognize we have a problem, we have to change the way we interpret and educate, and we must make sure that a small group of Muslims doesn't antagonize the whole world and give the rest of us a bad name. So I think that there is something to what he said.
Okay, something to what he said, but I hear what you're saying. Even Muslim leaders say it's a contextual point. We're working on it. Yeah. Speaking of hot-button issues, North Korea, Kim Jong-un ordering more nuclear tests, threatening to turn the U.S. into flames and ashes. How seriously should we be taking these threats? I mean, I've heard some people say, okay, North Korea is not ready yet, it's just rhetoric, but at some point, practicality will catch up with the words, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, these guys say things all the time, and Kim Jong-un is so sort of loony that he shouldn't even be allowed to play with matches, much less nuclear weapons. But they have a nuclear weapons program, and they have a missile program, and they are sharing their program with Iran. And so whoever the next president is, one of the things he or she is going to have to deal with in their 4 years in office is a world where there are a lot more nuclear weapons. And it's not just nuclear weapons in the hands of stable countries like the Soviet Union was, or like Russia is today, or China, or Britain, or France. It's going to be in the hands of countries which are unstable. And that's going to be one of their biggest challenges. So when Kim Jong-un prances around saying, I'm going to incinerate all of America, you know, maybe not. But on the other hand, he is a wave of the future, and we should understand that we have to take steps now to prevent the day that will soon come when we are vulnerable to long-range nuclear weapons that are on the heads of missiles that can reach the United States that are coming from crazy people like Kim Jong-un. Therefore, I think missile defense right now as fast as we can.
Okay. Katie McFarland, always full of clear, practical sense. Former deputy, thank you so much under President Reagan.